Toshkent Grand-Prix 2018 musobaqasining ikkinchi kuni final bosqichiga xush kelibsizlar.
Welcome to Uzbekistan and day 2 of competition at this year's Tashkent Grand Prix. It's Central Asia's hub and the place where everything in Uzbekistan happens. The nation's capital is rich in history and tradition, whilst at the same time displaying the signs of its Soviet past alongside strikingly modern structures. We're here for the latest leg of the IJF Judo World Tour, and we're going to begin this final block with the first of the bronze medal contests in the under 63 kilo category. This features Katrin Unterwürzacher of Austria. She'll be up against Daria Davidova of Russia. It'll be Unterwürzacher in the white judogi and Davidova in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Lubomir Peter of Australia. And with commentary on this and all this afternoon's medal matches, it's a very warm welcome to former world champion Loretta Kusat-Daul. Good afternoon, Loretta.
Good afternoon, Sheldon, and good afternoon to our viewers out there that are sitting patiently waiting and anticipating for some excellent judo here in this final block on the second day. Well, first part of the morning, there was some real battles that was on its way here, and I think, again, some very close matches we'll anticipate in this final block. Unterwürzacher, as you can see, world rank 13 against her opponent, who's world rank on 21. But Unterwürzacher has the advantage of knowing that she's defeated her opponent at least once before in competition at this level. She currently holds the #1 spot of the Tashkent Grand Prix champion last year. And what she will be wanting to do now is secure, maybe not the top spot, but secure a place on the podium. Well, she starts off very positively anyway. And we're looking at 2 gold medalists in Tashkent, because Davidova took the gold medal back in 2016. So this will be an opportunity for her to try and also take that #1 spot. Has been there before, been there, done it, and got the T-shirt, as they would say. And both very strong athletes battling away, but Unterwürzacher starts off very strong indeed.
Davidova lost out to Maria Centraccio of Italy in the semi-final. That put her straight into this bronze medal contest, whereas Unterwürzacher lost out to Baldorj Munchunkimeg of Mongolia in the quarter-final. That put her into the repechage contest, where she defeated Bold Kankeh of Mongolia to set up this bronze medal contest.
Well, once again, a display of very strong gripping styles here, especially from the Austrian, as you can see, with that high collar grip that's now been braced upon by the Russian as she tries to draw that strong defense away. But also in the return, restricting her own possibilities of entering in for an attack. Both looking very defensive in their styles. And as the crowd try and boost up the morale here in this venue. Well, Ayoko Tomonagi there, nicely executed. Didn't get a score, but definitely unsettled the Russian. Austrian once more throws that arm over and the leg at the same time for what looked to be a Hare Makekomi. Lost the control at the latter stage of that entry. And Davidova picking up the first Shido, and rightly so. There hasn't really been much action from the Russian. There's been a couple of gutsy moves there from the Austrian. But she is riding the Uchimata there, as you can see, following it through down into the Niwaza. And the Austrians are very clever in their groundwork when given the opportunity. But the coach, as you sort of read through the lines, is saying to sort of stable the situation. Don't take any risks in the ground at this particular moment. Possibly save that for a little bit later on. At the moment, she seems to have the upper hand in the tachiwaza. Davidova defending off that high collar grip. Really an unsettling process for her. She gets the lapel. And Vasaka trying to get that left hand. It comes round the back rather than the high collar at the moment. But she battles through the defences there of the Russian, who just seems to be trying to hold her back, but comes in a very tight wind there into a Makekomi. Well, very interesting in the coach's comments. One looks like he's on the edge. And that's the Austrian.
I think he lives there, doesn't he?
He was right on the edge there. His nerves was at him that time, especially with that Makekomi entry.
Marco Spitka in the chair for Catherine Unterwertsacher, and Magomed Magomedov in the chair for Daria Davidova. A slowly developing Sutemi-waza there, wasn't it?
That was a very slow reaction and put her in a bit of a hot spot at this moment, as you can see. Not an ideal situation to be punished down there. 2 seconds to go and we're heading into the golden score. Really very little divides these two athletes, and both have shown some real glimmer of the possibilities of getting that vital score.
Well, if you can understand any German, you'll know that what Marco Spitka is saying is that she hasn't got anything left.
She hasn't got any left. Well,
yeah.
I doubt that very much.
Oh,
I think the body language of the Russians sometimes could be looking that they're depleted, but I don't see that for one point that this would be the case.
Davidova picks up a second penalty for just guarding that.
Guarding that lapel,
the
wasn't
lapel,
it?
yeah.
Very silly error there, really. She's given away some vital points. Kochi.
Nice counter.
Beautifully done. But there you have it. Davidova was going in for the Kochi gak. Very deep she went in. There was no real rescue in that. It was all or nothing.
Yeah.
And sadly, it didn't pay off. And Unterwertsacher capitalized it. Total Tewaza control, finishing it off for Ippon.
When you see the replay of that, that's what Magomedov was suggesting. Give it everything, because she really threw everything into that attack. And she was just that little bit too far away. The stretch was too big. And Unterwertsacher was able to take it over, as Loretta says, with pure Tewaza. Just turned the hands and took that technique over. Yeah, there's another look here, and Loretta will be better placed to describe this too. She's just too far away from the target area when she launches.
Well, for me, what's interesting, she had the left hand on the lapel. She then braced it onto the shoulder of her opponent's left side. And as she hooked in with the Koichi Gak, as you can see, all she needed to do was turn her body into her opponent and drive down on that shoulder. That change of grip was the winning ingredient from there. From having the lapel and following it across onto the shoulder, directed her in a nice position as she swung back onto her.
And Catherine Unterwürzecker is taking a step back with the right leg just as Davidova comes forward. So she's even further away.
She braces herself, and then all she does is a wee twist.
Just turn. Yeah.
She just follows in. She flows to the movement of her opponent. Nice technique.
We've got a second bronze medal contest in the under 63 kilo category coming up now. Cristina Cabana Perez of Spain goes up against Andrea Leški of Slovenia. It's Cabana Perez in the white judogi, Leški in blue. Referee in the middle for this one is Vyacheslav Peretieko of Uzbekistan.
Well, Cabana Perez, as you saw there in the statistics on the world ranking, seems so far apart. But based on the performance here today with both these athletes, this is going to be quite a tough match for either one of these athletes to move through for that bronze medal and a place on the podium. Leški, obviously, a strong track record. Düsseldorf took a gold medal, Antalya this year, gold medalist, and last year in Tbilisi, silver medalist. Good, strong record. Cabana Perez, well, we saw her just not long ago, a couple of weeks back, where she was in Glasgow, and she took the bronze medal in the European Open there. A good performance. One of the first times I'd seen her there.
And for all of you eagle-eyed fans from the last contest, it was Sirazuddin Magomedov in the coach's chair. Leški comes up with Wazari. Good score from the Slovenian. She just made one slip today, really. Apart from that, you look really solid. Leads here with a little over 3 minutes left to go.
Well, on the world circuit, Leški is definitely a contender every time she comes out at these events. You can always more or less guarantee she's there and thereabouts in the medals. Undershadowed for such a long time with a teammate. And here you have Uchimata into the Makukomi, playing safe. Tayatoshi steps across there and drives in, nicely attacks. Very strong and aggressive approach. Well, a poor judgment there and under a little bit of pressure. Cabana Perez feeling the strain of being up against a very tough opponent. Picks up the first Shido with 2.5 minutes remaining. Leški still a little bit of life in those legs as she bounces there, drawing a little bit of attention to the energy that she can generate through this bronze medal contest. Well, there was a slight mistake for Leški. She had a very controlling grip, and then for a split second just released that grip that left herself a little bit vulnerable for the high collar. And Cabana Perez tried to capitalize on it. Rocked the boat a little bit there, but really didn't capitalize as much as she should have done. Leški a forward attack, but falls directly to the ground. It's like a safety net for her. She's not willing to give too much of a rotation on there. It's an attack and no more. She's
proving to be a really clever fighter, actually, Leški.
Yes.
You know, tactically quite astute, And at the same time, good throwing skills. Haven't really looked at the near-water yet, but good all-round fighter.
Well, now she's tactically playing. She's got that Wazari. She's got the lead, and so far the Ouchigari was there, but that's the danger. When she perseveres something with an Ouchigari and keeps herself so high and bounces, she bounces towards the Seoinagis. And that's a dangerous move to be playing at this particular moment. Spaniard there, as you can see, with the left hand on the lapel, or both hands on the lapel now. She draws head to head, has a sneaky look up at the scoreboard to see how long she has left on the clock before this is becoming a lost hope for her. She draws in on those lapels, but now she's only got one hand, which gives an advantage for Leski to start taking a little bit more onus in the way the pace of this contest will go. With the Ouchigari was there for the Spaniard, just didn't drive in deep enough. Leski was able to control it to a point that it wasn't as threatening as it started off to be.
You see, if she's not going to grip up with both hands, Cabana Perez, why should Leski? And she's allowing Leski to control the tempo of the contest. You've got to force her to put both hands on.
And vice versa, both of them seem to be making that error of a split moment, just having one hand on. It's so dangerous. But definitely not dangerous enough.
Yeah, and not dangerous for Leski. You know, she's saying, you're not going to throw me with one hand. And if you want to play the one-hand game, I haven't got Shido.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and play that. Once you put both your hands on me, I'll see what I can do then. You know, maybe I'll attack, maybe I'll try and close you down. But for as long as you want to play pat a cake and stay with one hand on, I'm going to do that because I've got Wazari, you've got two Shidos, you come and get me.
Yeah.
And she let that contest drift from her. The last 2 minutes there, she should have looked at the scoreboard and thought, I've got to get going here or else I'm out.
Totally agree. She had a couple of moments that where Leski didn't have, she had one hand. That's when she should have capitalized on it. She didn't take full advantage of it.
And that Ouchigari had her stumbling in the corner there. You know, I'd have said, okay, I can see that you've got some problems with this. I'm going to get both hands on and have another go.
Mm.
Anyway, it didn't work out. It was Leski of Slovenia who rescues things a little bit. Having come in here as the #1 seed this morning, she leaves with a bronze medal, another medal for the Slovenian.
Which makes her very consistent and good, important points for the Olympic qualification.
Yeah, her coach, Matija Erjavic, didn't have to do as much today. Not as much shouting.
No.
He's a happy man. We had a word with him yesterday about coaching, you know, whilst the contests were going on, and he came up and said...
You mean you had a word with him?
He said, was I better today?
Yes, he got the slap on the wrist and he took note.
Less to say with someone like Leski. You don't need to say as much. Right, we come now to the final of the under 63 kilo category. Baldorj Munchingimeg of Mongolia faces Maria Centraccio of Italy. It's Baldorj in the white judogi, Centraccio in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one is Ioana Babiuk of Romania. Here's Loretta.
Thank you, Sheldon. And yeah, this is going to be a very interesting match for me. Centraccio has had a great performance here today and has got some track record as a young athlete coming through. Second in the Junior European Championships back in 2016. And this year we had the delight to see her in Glasgow, where she picked up a bronze medal there. But she's up against a strong opponent from Mongolia. 2017 was world bronze medalist and last year the Asian champion, and will have a lot of experience under her belt here as she comes into this gold medal match. The Italians are very known for their feistiness and determination, very strong athletes and very well prepared when it comes to these events.
Yeah, it's odd because having picked up that bronze medal at the World Championships last year, you know, there hasn't been a great deal going on for her since then.
Yes.
She would be absolutely thrilled to be able to take the gold medal here. Centraccio, on the other hand, well, you know, if she were to medal here, be a real feather in her cap, because she's way down there on the world ranking list at 145.
Yes. And
it's not surprising, given the concentration on someone else in that weight category for Italy, Edwige Gwend. You know,
yeah,
she's their number one,
yeah,
so Centraccio really is their number two. Let's see how she gets on here.
I just love her energy out there. She is always on the attack. She's very positive in her approach. Definitely doesn't have that international exposure as much as her opponent, but that beside all that, she's given a good account of herself throughout the day and been a real contender. And we mentioned how low down she is on the world ranking, but that doesn't reflect on the performance we've seen here today.
Not at all. Yeah. When you put those two things side by side, they don't match up.
They don't match up. And when you watch both athletes engaging with each other, they're not miles apart. Oh, well, that was miles apart. She's obviously left the mind behind as Valgeorge came in with the Osso Tagari, beautifully executed. Well, we've seen that one before. And she obviously delighted with that.
Yeah, well, we were talking about the gap between, you know, medaling at the World Championships last year and,
Yes.
you know, her first medal since then. First time that
Yes.
she's been on the top of the podium. So great news for her. And
Well,
it's not so bad, you know, for Centraccio, who comes away from a Grand Prix with a silver medal.
yes.
That's her dad who's coaching her
Really?
here. Yeah.
Look at that, Osso Tagari just
Oh.
dug in very deep, really overstretched herself, but the power that was generated through that technique.
First ever Grand Prix medal for Centraccio. It's a silver, so good news for her.
Nice, nice control there.
We come now to the first of the bronze medal contests in the under 73 kilo category. Benjamin Axus of France faces Oleg Babgoyev of Russia. It'll be Axus in the white judogi, Babgoyev in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one is Jefferson da Roca Vieira of Brazil.
Well, looking at, again, we look at that world ranking list, 201. I know that, looking at the results of Babgoyev, we've had a few. The last result we looked at, 2017 in Minsk, the European Open. He was a silver medalist there, and also in Sofia was a bronze medalist. So he's picked up in the European Opens a few medals along the way, but Axis obviously has the advantage knowing that he's defeated on a head-to-head. Good as she was, well, those long legs are definitely coming in handy throughout the day. Very awkward in size and in shape. Very tall athlete for this weight category.
It's incredible when you think that there are 13 Russians ahead of Babgoyev on the world ranking list.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Most of them we know. Mugdasian,
Well, when you think you're that far down
Khrushchev,
the home
Mugushkov.
list
Yeah.
of being under the 13, there's 13 people in front of you, but you still manage to get an opportunity to fight an event like this. It shows how much investment they put as an overall base in their judo, and that's why I think there's a lot of success coming from countries like Russia. Their depth is so powerful. Well, both picking up a Shido apiece. Nice light on his feet as he works the feet, steps across. Axis really needs to start putting in a few attacks now to stay engaged in this contest. At the moment, he's on a little bit of the receiving end here. Cross grips, comes round the back, has to let go of one hand, but that twist,
Yes.
oh, turned right underneath him. Those long arms came in handy, was able to duck out of sight, spin through, and then attack him to the rear.
Only thing here is the landing.
Yeah, so right through. Yep.
Yeah.
He managed to rescue himself right at the crucial point.
He was lucky there.
A very, very lucky man indeed.
He was going down through no fault of his own. It was Babgoyev who was in control of that. So he would have given up a score.
Well, Babgoyev there is putting the pressure on, there's no doubt about it. And he's attacking those long legs and is causing so many problems for the Frenchman.
That time round wasn't the most attractive of outs from Babgoyev.
It was looking a little bit untidy there, but what it was tying up the arms. Look at the arms and the legs of Axis. It was just all over the place. He had no coordination there, no balance whatsoever.
He's come closest to scoring, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's piled on the pressure
And
here.
Axis has picked up 2 penalties. We've still got just a little under 2 minutes left to go.
Comes over the top with those long arms, which is an advantage, only if you're able to use them and to power through in that grip. He still looks a little bit loose, too loose for my comfort against the stronger Russian, but steps out of the problem from the resistance he was gaining from the Russian to try and turn it back on himself.
He's going to have to find another route, Babgoyev, because, you know, the Tanio Toshi type Kosotagaki attacks around the back haven't been working.
Well, he's attacking really long limbs, and this
Yeah.
makes it quite difficult. Straight away, you've got to engage so deeply to get through. And I think with such a height difference, I think Babgoyev has to control the head at first. He's coming in on the lapel, which means that big long limb, the left side, the arm can come over the top and then crush the movement of the Russian. It controls the head, and this is where you see the second Shido now been awarded to the Russian. So for Babgoyev, ideal situation is get the high collar grip, draw the head down, and then put the Frenchman under pressure to have to get out of that situation. As he lifts his head, then the opportunity for the Ochikochi Garis using the leggy techniques to stumble his opponent.
And the other problem now for Babgoyev is he looks
tired.
He looks tired, physically spent here.
He looks like he's really physically spent, as you say.
This is probably the difference between, you know, the people who are in the top 5 and the people lower down who outside the top 10.
Yeah.
You know, the super fit, you know, high performance athletes that you would expect if they were high up.
Yeah.
And now someone who is, you know, an exceptionally good, you know, national player who they've put out at a big international.
I think his tactical ploy within this, the Russian hasn't really, in my words, he hasn't got a clue. He's controlling on the lapel. He's controlling a sleeve. The one thing Axis has, he's got the height. And what he has to do is try and bring this tall man down to his level. He has to draw his head down, which will give a certain amount of frustration to the Frenchman. But what he's doing, he's attacking someone that's got upper body control.
He's really got to step it up now because he's already got 2 penalties and he's just behind on attacks for me here now.
Yes.
Babgoyev.
And
this is not going to last long. We're already 20 seconds into golden score and Axis has attacked again first. You'll get away with 1 more cycle because they're in Newaza now. They won't want to penalise him as soon as they stand up, especially as he's the aggressor.
Now there's an opportunity for Babgoyev. He's got the head tied up, and now he's trying to draw that leg out. He's almost there, but these long limbs are going to be very difficult to break free.
There's the foot,
but
he's out now.
Yes,
yes,
and he's got it.
That's it now. That's it. He's fought really hard for that. He deserves that just for sheer stickability. He was on the way out. They got back up and he was, but he got 1 chance. We were talking about this. You get a chance, you have to take it.
Take full advantage of it. And that's exactly what Babgoyev had done. He took full advantage of that opportunity. Axis made the opportunity for him happen. He came in for a Sutemi Waza that was quite sort of lackadaisical, left himself wide open, very vulnerable, and those long limbs he had no control on.
Well, once in a while you get offered a chance. When you do, take it. Babgoyev did just that. And so often we see those chances go begging.
Well, the most important thing he did there, the first thing he did was tie up that head. He really had a close control there.
That was a good scrap.
It was.
That's the best way of putting it, wasn't it? It was a real hard old scrap.
It was, in a way, and at certain points, it was a little bit out of control, wasn't it? There was very little control on both parties.
Coming up next, the second of the bronze medal contests in the under 73 kilo category. Georgios Azoidis of Greece faces Viktor Svortov of the United Arab Emirates. It's Azoidis in the white judogi, Svortov in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Roberta Chiolia of Italy.
Well, this is definitely going to be a tough match. Both these had impressive rounds leading up to this bronze medal contest. Azoidis, very strong athlete. Comes in a very positive manner with that high collar grip. But picks up the first Shido, sadly. Possibly being too strong for his own good. He gets the round the back, controls quite nicely. Uchimata. And there's a couple of times that he's been riding that technique. Very dangerous situation. Oh, you can see the concentration in both these athletes as they draw each other in head to head now. A real flex of muscle. But that's all it is, a flex of muscle between these two, and both picking up a Shido. Savoridis now with 2 Shidos, and we're not even halfway yet. Well, it is just a battle of muscle at this moment rather than technique. It's a real tactical match. Well, trying both to get the upper hand on the high collar grip. Stepped across, nice technique. Sutemi was her attempt there as a counter reaction. Oh, Sianagi move there. Well, really has been a bit of a battle of the Kimikata. The gripping skills of both athletes very strong. Sutemi was her attempt. It draws his opponent down into the ground. But still, the only thing that's dividing them is 1 Shido at this particular moment. Well, she was stumbling. Oh, Kosota. Well, as the crowd's clapping away, just to give them that sense of feeling of stepping it up a little bit here, looking for something a little bit more. Whether they're going to get it at this latter stage of the contest, I'm not quite sure. Well, we're now into golden score.
Azoides is the one who's got to be careful here.
Yeah, he's got the 2 shooters, but he's had it for some time, and just sense that he's working just that little bit harder than his opponent. Both at a right angle position, head to head. Sutemi was her attempt there.
Showed him the Uchimata on the left side, then the right sided Yoko Sutemi was up. Almost caught him up. Nice little shape to that action from Svortov. Yeah, that wasn't as clever, was it?
No, Svortov there, just poor reaction. Misjudged that completely. Well, a minute and a half into golden score. Svortov there backing himself into a corner, really. Azoides there with an attempt of the Sumigeshi. Would have given more opportunity to punish him on the edge of the contest area. He was backed up there and really didn't take full advantage of that. Well, this is where mistakes will be made. We're into 2 minutes of golden score. 6th in total. These athletes are battling away. The hip throw in. Well, there's a bit of 50-50. Well, the athlete Svortov really looking for help from the referee now, under pressure. Comes right. Oh, well, there was almost a ride on the Uchimata.
Who's he looking at? The crowd or the officials' table?
Yeah,
neither of them can help him.
It's the officials' table he's looking at, that care system going, come on. 2.5 minutes.
It was a spectacular entry,
It was
but
a
it wasn't
lovely
a score.
lift. There's no doubt about it.
Here we go again. It's not the place where Azoides wants to be.
No.
He's going to get the penalty here.
Not one of the most attractive matches I've seen so far. Both have battled away here, and it is really a battle of determination.
See, why would you want to wander over to the edge of the contest area, stand with 1 foot outside, and still expect to get away with it? That's just, you know, poor tactics from Azoides there, really. Svortov fought that really well. Did just what he had to do, made sure that he didn't get scored on. And ended up
There was a nice
taking the contest.
Well, maybe that was one of the nice movements that we'd seen throughout the whole match. There was an opportunity. So based on just that one attack, he deserves to get
really
the bronze medal. He
he?
launched him, but he just lost the control at the latter stage of it.
Well, this is what the home crowd have been waiting for.
Yes.
The final of the under 73 kilo category. Hikmatlok Turayev of Uzbekistan faces Igor Vantka of Germany. It's Turayev in the white judogi, Vantka in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Vladimir Nutsubidze of Georgia.
Well, the crowd are erupting as they look at this man, hopefully being their hero.
Hikmat Turayev has had the harder of the draw, hasn't he? To be honest. He had to put out the #1 seed along the way, Tommy Macias, Benjamin Axis, the French fighter, and Victor Svortov in the semi-final there. He's had a tough old day. Well, Igor Vantka is up against not only Turayev, but
he's up against this crowd as well all the way.
Well.
Turayev, well, we've had two Uzbekistans that have been in the final, both blew out at the last hurdle. Will this be third unlucky chance for them? Well, the German comes in there, just at the edge of the contest area with the Sumigeshi. A very happy crowd at this particular moment. Can they remain happy? That's the question we'll ask.
Well, they were nearly made happy yesterday. They had two in the final, one in the under 60 kilos, Diobek Urazboyev, and then they had Nurilayev in the 66s, but as Loretta was saying, that didn't work out for them. Maybe today is the day.
Turayev got bronze medal here last year. And already is that one bit better. Oh, well, he left himself a little bit vulnerable there as he overstretched himself with that Oso Tagari. And his coach is absolutely having kittens there. Couldn't believe what he's just seen. He really left himself exposed.
They're in similar positions, Turayev and Vantka. Vantka is at 27 on the world ranking list, and Turayev is at 36, so they're fairly close.
They're evenly, yeah.
But the thing about it is that neither of them are the #1 in their country. This would make all the difference. You take a gold medal here. You've got bragging rights when you get home.
That's it.
And 700 points.
Well, if you're on home soil and you win here, you're a hero on top of everything else.
You've got a share of that $100,000 prize money as well.
Not a bad day's work, is it, when you think about it? These two battle away for that prestigious title, along with everything else that goes with it, from whatever country you come from.
Nice attacking style from both players. Shido free at the halfway point.
Very engaging, very aggressive approach with a couple of attacks in there. You can see with the attempt of the Ouchigari.
Didn't like that, did they?
No. Well, there's the the start of the Shido starting to show its ugly face, and it goes to Germany. And Uzbek trying to take control. He's got that sleeve. He looks for the Kochigari. A Sodi attempt. Just didn't get that arm moving much, but still the more aggressive approach. But there you have the Sianagi.
Just managed to give that last push
Mm.
from Igor Vanka to make it valid, and then Turayev was able to step round.
Well, Vanka is doing a very good job out here. He's under a lot of pressure. It was never going to be an easy match for him, especially with not only competing against a strong opponent, but this crowd as well that's totally behind this man. Well, that was a poor judgment there, very slow in the approach for that Sianagi. Left himself vulnerable in the transition. And it was that poor. I'm surprised he didn't pick up a Shido for that effort. Oh, and there you have another Sianagi. Now the German is starting to look slightly negative there. Pressure on is starting to wear him down a little bit. Sleeve and lapel. Vanket coming under his opponent, but again, a very soft approach.
Yeah, Turayev just looks as though he's got that little bit more in the tank, doesn't he, at this point?
Well, Turayev seems to be, he's boosted with the confidence here, and this crowd is keeping him really going. The spirits are high, and he breaks down the German there, totally dismissing him, drawing him to his face, and I'm surprised that the German hasn't picked up a Shido. Really have. There's been a couple of attacks that have been very, very close to the mark.
Well, we go into golden score. Igor Vanka's not out of it yet.
No, and the saviour for the German going into the golden score, he's only got the one Shido at this moment. Oh, you see, that is just running away from me. Turayev totally dismissing his opponent. This crowd doesn't help by backing it up.
Look for that low Seotoshi from Igor Vanka.
Well, Vanka really has to just all or nothing now. He's got a chance of stealing this gold medal. At the moment, it's been on the receiving end. He's got nice judo. He's just got to really believe in himself. The arms are down, the head's down, the shoulders, the body language of the man is really showing he's been defeated out here, and he doesn't seem to have a solution. And that's all the body language is saying to us all. He's got to really go in there. He's got to be gutsy. He's capable of really turning this around. But at the moment, the way he's working is just oozing more confidence out of the Uzbek. There's no such way of playing this safe at all for the German. He's really got to go out for it. He's got to ask himself whether he wants to go with a hand sokamaki or does he want to just go for a pon. Either way, it's going to be that way. So he's got to just go. He could be on the receiving end or he could be just firing one in that'll give him the win. Well, the Uzbek coach is beside himself now. He's just hands up to his head. He can't believe that he's got one Shido. And poor judgment there with the Sianagi. Oh, well, he's gonna, oh! The Uzbek did so well at getting out of that. I thought the German had just managed to steal that there. It's turned out to be quite an interesting match. German is now starting to have another lease of life here. The head's come up, but is Sianagi a double attack on it?
Those last two efforts from Turayev may have drained him.
Well, it looks like it has, and the coach is sort of get your head up, your chest out, and keep breathing. But the German's building up confidence on the body language now of the Uzbek. The right hand high on the collar. Oh, well, that's a poor judgment there, and that's got to be a Shido, which then levels this up to 2 Shidos apiece.
He's struggling to get to his feet now, Turayev.
Turayev is dying out there.
The only thing getting him up now is the crowd, because his body can't pick him up any longer.
He thought he had it in the bag, and he gave everything, and it didn't pay off.
Here comes
now
Vanka.
He's depleted. Vanka is just out there. He's building on that. Oh!
Makikomi, nice effort from
just put
Turayev.
His leg up a little bit too high and left himself hovering on his supportive leg and off balance. But it was a good, strong attack. Turayev really has to dig deep now. And my goodness, look, all the crowd are up off their seats. And oh! Well, the German is really all out for it now. He's got a second chance. He knows that he's got an opportunity here. Turayev comes in with that Sianagi. He's breathing deep. He's actually trying to get air from his toes, I think. Well, for the German, he's obviously got... Oh! It's a strong attack, 1-for-1. Richard Troutman there is trying so hard not to get off his seat. It must be killing him not having... Oh! Well, this crowd, they're off their seat. They're on it. They're off their seat. They're just... Oh, they're beside themselves. But they're all cheering here. They think that obviously possibly the next Shido's going to be awarded. Well, I don't know. I would hate to see it.
So would I. I think this is a good fight.
I think it's been interesting.
What would another 5 or 6 seconds have made, you know?
No, it wouldn't have made any difference. I think it would have just made it more interesting. But Turayev takes the gold medal for Uzbekistan, and the crowd are just up on their seats.
Best fight of the day, biggest action of the day, everybody on their feet, everybody banging away. Shido.
Shido. I know. And that's our highlight of the day. That's us.
Ask anybody in the audience there on their feet if they would have liked to have seen another cycle. And I'm sure they'd have said, no, we want the Uzbek to win it now.
Just give it to us now.
Which is what happened, unfortunately, for Igor Vanka. There's a certain amount of attacking that every player has got to put in, and it just wasn't coming from Vanka. The Uzbek was pressing 3 or 4 times there, even though he was out on his feet, and eventually he just got ahead as far as the attacks were concerned. We come now to the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 63 kilo category. Ruslan Uspayev, the chairman of the SMP Bank, is making the medal presentations. The bronze medals go first of all to Andrea Leški of Slovenia. There's a bronze medal too for Catherine Unterwürzacher of Austria. Silver medal goes to Maria Centracchio of Italy. Well, the gold medal goes to Baldoj Munchungimeg of Mongolia.
Prize money and flowers will be presented by General Secretary of the National Olympic Committee of the Republic of Uzbekistan.
G'oliblarni qimmatbaho sovg'alar bilan O'zbekiston Milliy olimpiya qo'mitasi bosh kotibi Jasur Matchonov tabriklaydilar.
Ladies and gentlemen, please all rise for the national anthem of Mongolia.
Xonimlar va janoblar, Mongoliya madhiyasi yangraydi.
And now the national anthem of Mongolia.
Family picture with VIPs and judoka.
Time for a photograph with the winning quartet and our VIPs. Leshki and Unterwürzacker were the bronze medalists. Centrakio took the silver, but it was Baldoj who took the gold. We've got the first of the bronze medal contests in the under 70 kilo category coming up now. Gershak Sabina of Hungary faces Yarden Meyerson of Israel. It'll be Gershak in the white judogi, Meyerson in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one is Siniša Skrbić of Serbia. Here's Loretta.
Well, as you can see in the statistics, the world ranking is 19 to 168. But both of these athletes were bronze medalists here in Tashkent last year. So both will be wanting to put themselves back in that position. Neither one of them wants to drop a place. Both have had a great performance. Meyerson was one of the athletes I highlighted a little bit earlier on at the beginning of the day as someone who had the potential and the determination to come through, and that determination has brought her right through to this bronze medal match. Agadir this year, she also got a bronze medal and has been very impressive in her build-up along the way this year, going from strength to strength. Gershak, back in 2015, was a junior world champion. So definitely the right pedigree to be making the targets here on the podium. Meyerson coming round the waist there. Very strong looking athlete. Powers her way right through to this bronze medal match. One thing she does have is some nice judo as well. Although she's very powerful, her ashiwazas work well for her. She gets the hip in, comes deep over the back, seems to be on the receiving end. A little bit sharper she has to be on the transition through from the grip to the attack. Meyerson, as you can see, leading with that right side. but wants to throw that left hand deep. Gershak with the left hand high on the collar, drawing her opponent's head down, stumbles her down to the ground as she follows through into the Niwaza. Tries to tie up and secure the head, but as you can see, the legs were just a little bit too loose. And Meyerson tries to capitalize by coming past the legs. Well, sound advice coming from the coach there. Get the grip, draw your opponent in, get a reaction, and then work with the feet. Again, leading with that right. Wants to switch it over, but really switching it over halfway into engaging is not always the ideal situation. So the attempt there from Gershak. Well, stern face there, totally in the zone. Tiny steps towards her opponent. A little bit too solid on the feet. Needs to have a little bit sharpness if she's going to use her feet, what her coach was saying. Meyerson needs to be a little bit lighter if those feet are going to work for her.
Yeah, attack legs.
Attack legs, well...
What was Tanaka Miki was trying to get across.
And the thing is, you can attack legs, but to be able to attack legs, you have to be lighter on your feet. And what she is now, unlike the Japanese are very light on their feet, and their feet move nicely. She's a shuffler.
Yeah, Yarden is a little bit flat-footed at times.
She's very, very flat-footed, and she shuffles her way into opponent's space.
Easy for Tanaka Miki to say. She was beautiful exponent
beautiful.
of...
Definitely, as she was.
Well, leg techniques, really, yeah. When you talk about leg techniques, she's talking about Uchimata. She had one of the most beautiful Uchimatas. The unfortunate thing for her was that she was around at the time of Ueno Yoshia, the double world champion and Olympic medalist. So that kept her out of the top spots.
Yes. Well, Meyerson there stumbling down to the ground, and then you have Gershak that's capitalizing it in the Niwaza. She's got the head tied up a little bit. She's got a lovely turn going on here. Still controlling she needs, but she's got that shimiwaza as well. Very uncomfortable situation for Meyerson at this particular moment, and does well to just hang on there. Well, we're into the last half a minute of this contest, which looks like it will go into golden score once more. And we've seen a lot of contests going into the golden score. There's been a lot of battles at Kumikata. It's tactically been the main word that we would use throughout the day here in all four weight categories. Well, into the golden score now. What's refreshing, there isn't any Shidos on the board at this moment. So both have engaged very well, and enough to keep the referee happy that both are trying to exchange against each other in a very positive way.
Tanaka had previously fought at the weight below this, but with the greatest of respect, I think that she's probably in this weight category now. Slightly more fuller of face. Into the golden score period then. Both fighters have been, you know, good at attacking, keeping up the tempo, just haven't been able to come up with a score.
Well, the Uchimata into the roll, the Makakomi. That was the closest so far, and Meyerson.
He does the right thing here, Sinisa Skirbic, because at this point, that's the end. Now, this is just a push. It ends, and then there's a push.
Yeah.
It's not a continuation, so there's no score there. He never even looked up. But there were shouts of Wazari, Wazari, but really wasn't there. See, Meyerson's just got to come back with one attack now and level things up.
Yes.
You know, Gershak has attacked a couple of times, but, you know, she really hasn't done enough to say, okay, we're going to penalize Meyerson here for being passive.
No, and Meyerson is still looking very strong out there, and transitions into the Niwaza, looks for an opportunity. Every time she can get a opening there, she's in.
Now is when Meyerson's got to be first. You can't allow Gershak to get in another attack here.
Gershak comes around the back. She attempts the Uchimata, misses it completely.
Tiring quickly, Gershak.
Well, Gershak is showing out giving away some valuable percentages there with the head going down. That will only boost the confidence for Meyerson by seeing her opponent starting to flag a little bit with condition.
You could see the thinking there, that last attack with the Koso Takaki, but it just wasn't the movement in order to really threaten Gershak here.
Well, I'm not sure where it is. The referee's letting that go, but it's actually trying to get the turnover. That's what she's looking for.
Gershak had to fight that one off.
Oh yeah.
I think he was letting it go because there was some on this side. It looked as though it was across the face there, but there may have been some on the neck, and he thought, okay, I'm going to leave that.
Well, by trapping that arm, I think what she was trying to do, she'd got a leg out from underneath the back. She could have actually secured the Osakomi from there, but just couldn't maneuver herself any further than where she was at that time. It was a little bit of a stalemate. Oh, beautiful
almost.
Ashiwaza there. And she punches the air.
Prematurely, I'm afraid.
Well, they're going to have a look at it. Well, well, it was definitely a very soft Wazari. And Meyerson will be desperately disappointed with that. But for Gershak, it's a great result for the Hungarian, who takes the bronze medal.
The bronze medal winner, Sabina from Hungary.
Gershak Sabina, the bronze medal winner in the under 70 kilo category. We'll have a chance to look at the highlights from this one, and in particular the Ashiwaza at the end that brought about that score in golden score. Oh, maybe when you see it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She pulled back off it. This is a different angle. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
no problem.
No problem there.
Yeah.
It just shows you how good our referees truly are.
Yeah.
That he was able to make that call
Once.
so quickly, and we sort of went, nah, it's definitely not Wazari. But on the replay, you can see where he's coming from.
It's not quite Tsubame Gaeshi because she doesn't step over,
No,
but
no.
she reacts to the Ashiwaza from her opponent. It's a neat piece of work from Gershak. Right, coming up next, the second of the bronze medal contest in the under 70 kilo category. Elvis Mal Rodriguez of Venezuela faces Hilda Jaeger of the Netherlands. It's Rodriguez in the white judogi, Jaeger in blue. And the referee in the middle for this one is Ramzi Shamirov of Tajikistan. Well, Elvisma Rodriguez has a chance to salvage something from her visit here, because she should really have done better early on today.
Well, she was predicted to do much better, and she was really without being so rude about it, but out-scrapped. It was really a sort of an aggressive match that she'd had, and she was just out-fought in a way with the gripping styles. And
it was Meyerson who she lost to in the quarter-final, and I thought, you know, those are the sorts of players that you have got to be putting away.
Yeah.
Not just beating, I mean really putting away.
She actually just played the wrong game with her, and she was playing to the same strengths as Meyerson, and she fell short on that. She's got beautiful skills. She's got a nice display of judo, but she was fighting her. And there's a difference of actually just competing and doing judo with somebody and actually just toe-to-toe and scrapping. And that was the big mistake that she made.
She was the number 3 seed here, Rodriguez. Of course, if she ends up with a bronze medal, you could say, well, she's done what she was supposed to. She came 3rd.
Yeah.
But really, she would have fancied her chances of doing that a little bit better. Polares was the number 2 seed, Michaela Polares. We'll see her in the final. Gershak was the number 2 seed, so she's, I suppose, could be said, 1 spot down, having picked up the 3rd place. But it was Anna Bernholm, the number 1 seed, who opened up the gap by losing in her round 2 contest. Single Shido against Hilde Jäger at the moment. Half the contest gone. Rodriguez has had a couple of stabs at the Sode Tsurikomigoshi. Who are we missing from the under 70 kilo category from the Netherlands? It's Kim Polling, isn't it? I haven't seen Kim for a while.
Yes.
Turnover possible, but the leg is way.
She's got it caught in
deep,
very,
yeah.
very deep there. And as you can see, that other hand is there controlling quite nicely from Jäger. It's going to be very difficult to maneuver herself out of that. Well, Rodriguez there looking a little bit negative. The head's gone down. She's pushing out, and she will pick up a Shido now. So a Shido apiece. We're coming into the last minute. So the attempt there from Rodriguez. Tries to control the head, comes down a little bit loose there, but she is in a position for the Jujikadami. And yet Jäger made that mistake. A very silly error. She stumbled to the ground, exposed that arm, and was totally capitalized by Rodriguez.
Well, you can see just how much that means to Rodriguez. It's more relief, isn't it, on her face at having, as I said at the beginning, you know, to salvage something from the visit here. She'll go away, she'll have a look at that, and she'll think, well, you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought then, was it? You know, I came away with a medal, got a little bit of prize money. The points will help me along there, so, okay, I did something. But, to, you know, to have, had she finished 5th, that would have been a bit of a disaster. On the other hand, for Hilda Jaeger, a 5th place at a Grand Prix, that's not a bad little run out.
That's a good run out for her. And she'll be, when she reflects back on her performance, she'll just say it was a good day's work.
Made a slip on the ground, arm came out.
Well, it was a silly error there. She went down, but look at there, straight of it. Rodriguez dropped her to the ground, but it was like she anticipated what was going to happen. She worked on that shoulder and then swung through for the Jujikatami. Wasn't the most attractive attacks taking her down into the Niwaza, but definitely a very fine polishing Jujikatami. In fact, quite an aggressive approach into the Niwaza there.
Yes, and I know you will agree with me, and so it should be.
Oh, yeah.
It's not always well, I don't know how many times you were on the receiving end of it, but once or twice.
Never.
Well, you were lucky. Once or twice I was on the receiving end of it when it gets put on very, very quickly and very hard. And you're out for a few weeks. But it was nicely controlled. I mean, there's no busting of the arm there or anything. She's got the legs in the right place. She's trapped. There's nowhere for Hilda Jaeger to go.
Yeah.
And she puts it on, I think, you know, with a good deal of control. We come now to the final of the under 70 kilo category. Giovanna Scocimaro of Germany faces Michaela Polares of Austria. It's Scocimaro in the white judogi, Polares in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one is Friedrich Anna-Maria of Hungary. Here's
well,
Loretta.
We're definitely going to be expecting a bit of a battle going on here. 4 times they've met, and it's 2 apiece. So who will make it the 3rd and just start to edge forward? Well, both these athletes have looked very strong, but Scocimaro, for me, has been the one that I've tipped at the beginning of the day would be one to watch after a great performance that we'd seen her in Abu Dhabi, where she picked up the bronze medal. This young lady, junior world champion, senior European silver medalist last year, and definitely hitting some very strong targets for the German team.
Yeah, this is an incredibly well-matched contest for various reasons. You know, different stages of their careers, different, you know, outside pressures are playing on the both of them. Polares is the undoubted #1 in her country, so it's all about what she's going to do with the spot if she qualifies. Whereas Scocimaro, it's a different proposition. She is heading the trio of Germans, you know, looking to get a place in Tokyo at the Olympic Games. Unusually so, because she's the younger, less experienced of the trio. And behind her is the Olympic bronze medalist, Laura Vargas-Koch, and Sandra Diedrich.
Diedrich, yeah.
You know, those are really high-quality players, and she's
very
leading
strong
it.
athletes. And what depth they've got in the country. I think this is what we're getting, the result of that depth, is we're seeing athletes like Scocimaro coming through and competing so strongly in these events. And she has been a real contender throughout the day here. Polia's under-23 European champion just recently, and also in Abu Dhabi was a bronze medalist at the same time as Scocimaro. Polly has also picked up the gold medal in Cancun. A good result. She was delighted with that. Nice reaction there, comes over the top there. Polyers scoring a Wazari and takes the lead in 2.5 minutes remaining. Scotchimaro
Nice hands.
just left herself a little, well, they come in for the first attack and then they feel like they're going to go for the counter. So rather than just persevering with the major attack first, they let go and they feel like diving to the ground is going to help, but it leaves themselves so wide open for the counter. It just accelerates that throw. Few as she was there, the coach, Igari. Head to head here, good gripping skills here, both very close, controlling nicely. Scotchimaro with that right hand just there on the shoulder blade of the Austrian. Battling away, using the feet nicely, looking busy the German is, but still not pressing hard enough on a comeback here. Still trailing with the Wazari, and Polyers will be just quite happy to play about here, and both look busy, 1 for 1. Polyers, a very good tactical athlete, knows that she has got that lead. She's coming to that crucial 40 seconds, as Sheldon always talks about. And we've gone past that. So is that the saving grace for Polyers? Or is there still a little bit of hope there? Scotchimaro going down into the ground, and Polyers capitalizing, staying on top and looking busy. But as she knows, the clock's just ticking away nicely, and I wouldn't be surprised if she has a wee look up at the board to see how much longer she has in just ticking away some crucial seconds from this match. Well, Polyers takes the gold medal for Austria. Scotchimaro, a great performance for this young lady. Yeah, there'll be an element of being disappointed, but in fact, overall, it's been a good event for her.
All of a sudden, Michaela Polyers, who is so reserved and so unassuming, shy and quiet, she's all of a sudden become the go-to girl for Austria, because she's heading Unterwertsache at the moment, Kasachova in the under 63 kilos, Bernadette Graf, who's moved up to 78, and then Sabrina Filzmerser, who was there for so long as, you know, the superstar of Austrian judo. Well, here's Michaela Polyers, just crept up on everyone, doing the business.
And there's some highlights of that contest. Well, she controlled very nicely. The Tewaza was there. Arm round the back, a controlling factor to a good Wazari.
It's the first time that Scotchimaro was appearing in a Grand Prix final. She's 21 on the world ranking list. She's the German #1. This just cements her place, really. And for Michaela Polyers, does the same thing, pushes her further up the ranking list. She's the #1 anyway, and it's a 5th IJF Tour medal this year. Top drawer effort from Michaela Polyers.
Yeah.
Right, we come now to the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 73 kilo category. The bronze medals go first of all to Viktor Skvortov of the United Arab Emirates. There's a bronze medal too for Oleg Babgoyev of Russia. Really enjoyed watching him fight today, given his position at number 13 on the Russian team. Silver medal goes to Igor Vantka of Germany. What a top draw effort that was from him. Terrific battle. Losing out only to the eventual gold medalist, Hikmatlok Turayev of Uzbekistan. Well, there you go. Just what the home crowd wanted. And it was really an epic battle. I'm not saying it was the you know, technically or tactically the best, you know, match that we've seen of the tournament. There was just so much in there. The balance was so terrific. Really enjoyed that. I would have liked to have seen just that little bit more.
Oh, we were enjoying it that much. We just wanted to see
mind.
more.
Yeah,
We didn't mind that it was going
Yeah.
for as long as it did in golden score, but there was an element of excitement, wasn't there?
Yeah. And there was a point when they had to, you know, say, okay, look, we've seen enough here. And 3 or 4, you know, strong efforts from Turayev without response from Vantka was enough for them to call it a day. And now the national anthem of Uzbekistan.
Well, it was long waited for that one, wasn't it, for this home crowd?
Well, they had a couple of chances yesterday, as we said, with Diorbek Urazboyev and Sardor Nurilayev. They ended up with silver, but today was the day that they took gold. Igor Vantka manages a smile at this point, the silver medal winner, and the 2 bronze medalists. They look reasonably happy, don't they? Babgoyev and Svortov. We've got one more weight category to bring you. It's the under 81 kilo category. We've got the first of the bronze medal contests coming up next. Ungvari Attila of Hungary faces Vladimir Zoloyev of Kyrgyzstan. It'll be Ungvari in the white judogi, Zoloyev in blue. And the referee in the middle for this one is Oliver De Roses of France.
Well, when you look at the statistics there's very little between them. There's obviously a lot of experience for Ungvari. 130 wins under his belt to his opponent that's got 40. So he's just been around the block a little bit longer, that's all that's saying. Because on the world ranking, it's not reflecting the amount of wins there. But definitely can't write off the more mature man. Ungvari has had... This year has most probably not been one of his strongest years, but definitely 2017 was a good year for him. We picked up some interesting but very impressive medals.
In the top left-hand corner of that shot of the crowd, there was on his telephone Sharafuddin Lutfilayev, who missed out yesterday in the under 60 kilo category. Another popular fighter with the home crowd. He's actually just popular. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Right, we're underway with the first of the bronze medal contests.
Well, straight away, it's a bit of a battle going on to secure the most dominating grip. Ungvari, as we know, very clever in his niwaza, trying to secure his positioning down in the ground. Tucks in deeply there under the belt level. Referee calling a halt as they exit the contest area. As we know, the Hungarian likes the deep overhand grip there, and from there he goes for that koichigari, which from that position you wouldn't think that he can actually reach it, but it is always successful for him, and it has been one of the winning throws for him today. Well, both picking up a shido apiece just to set this ball rolling and to get these guys up and going. Ouchigari, nice attack there. Oh, Ungvari there, beautifully executed. How Ungvari managed to get out of that, I'll never know. A bit of a lost opportunity there. Well, badly timed attack there from the Hungarian. Referee giving the benefit of the doubt on that one, as he works to get his grip round the back. Attempt of a Sutemi was up. Well, now it's 2 apiece with still 1 minute and 40 seconds to go, and well, they've just taken that shido off, so it's still back to 2-1. Overstretching for the koichigari. Stepping across there. The Hungarian tried to stabilize his opponent, giving him that opportunity, but hooking in for the uchimata. Now there's 2 very strong attacks, and the Hungarian's got to be careful now. He's very close to possibly picking up that 3rd and final shido. We're into the last minute of the contest. It's both battle away for that bronze medal. The first of 2 up for grabs. Well, Ungvari not looking so sharp in his transition in this bronze medal contest. Normally he's a little bit sharper there, and overstretched himself there. Poorly judged entrance. Right hand high on the collar, but it's looking a little bit scrappy there. Well, he's got the high collar grip, drawing the head down. Well, that was an opportunity missed there. And the Hungarian needs to start putting in 1 or 2 attacks. So far, it's been all the other way now. Uchigari, oh, well, that was a close one. And right on the time, so we go into golden score. Zoloyev looking the stronger of the two here in this contest. As he just steps up the aggression in the opening seconds of golden score. Well, I think it's just really a matter of time now. Vari gets onto that belt. The Ochigari again, another strong attack. Well, definitely it was on the cards.
Vladimir Zoloyev takes the first of the bronze medals in the under 81 kilo category on the back of the 3 penalties picked up by Ungvari Attila of Hungary. Not the best of performances from Ungvari, I'm afraid.
No, it definitely hasn't, but he's not been that sharp this year at all, really.
Fifth place finish for the Hungarian, but the bronze medal going to Zoloyev.
Well, that was the closest we saw. Ungvari did so well to escape that, and there's another strong attack. But when you look at it there and it's broke down on the attacks, the strongest judo did come from Zoloyev.
Well, we've got a second bronze medal coming up now. And this features Shamil Borshashvili of Austria. He's up against Alexios Thanasidis of Greece. It's Borshashvili in the white judogi, Thanasidis in blue. And the referee in the middle for this one is Hyun Suk-hee of the Republic of Korea.
Borshashvili there, as you can see, coming onto our screen, first time in a Grand Prix medal match. Was gold medalist in Glasgow at the European Open just a few weeks back. Great performance at that weekend, showing all the potential that this young athlete has for Austria. Thanasidis, Asian Open gold medalist in Zagreb, 5th place, and also picked up a 7th in Hoyhot. Sumigeshi attempt there, left himself a little bit vulnerable there. What a lost opportunity there, though, for the Greek.
There's a wry smile there from the Greek coach, because he knows that had that been anyone else, there was no way he was getting out of that. Exactly,
no
exactly.
chance.
But his own man, he has to laugh.
Yeah.
You got to invest in your knee as a practice, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Or
And
else.
he doesn't seem to like to play down in the Niwaza for some reason. He's not one of the most confident down there.
Azoides was the same earlier on, you know. And who did we see that had that single chance in this final block and they took it and ended up winning?
I'll tell you now.
Two and a half minutes left to go. Single Shido against Borshashvili. There's one contest earlier on where they
Babgoyev.
took their chance. The Russian boy.
The Russian under 73s,
Yeah.
Babgoyev. He took full advantage of that.
A
And
single slip
picked
at
up
the
the
absolute right time as
right
well.
timing.
Yeah. When actually things were almost going against him.
It wasn't
Yeah.
an easy match at all, and Babgoyev there took full advantage on a slip of a Sumigeshi attempt, left himself vulnerable, and was totally capitalized.
He's going to have to let go of that belt sooner or later. 2 penalties picked up by Boshashvili. That's unfortunate. We've got half the contest still to come. A couple of errors have put the 2 yellow cards there, and a third will see him out of the contest. That would be unfortunate.
And again, an attempt to Sutemi Waza, leaving himself exposed in the knee waza, comes round, rotates, again he gets out of it. Well, we know what his homework will be when he gets home. Knee waza. Transition.
You have to drill that.
Oh, 2 really great opportunities.
And you can see why it is that Boshashvili is perfectly happy to attempt time and time again the Sutemi Waza, because it doesn't leave him at any real risk.
He's not exposed, is he?
He feels comfortable at the possibility that he'll have to defend himself against Tanasidis
Yeah.
on the ground. And there he goes again.
Once more, yeah.
Yeah.
Tanasidis doesn't really react this time. He's given up
But
all hope of getting
they're
the
strong
knee
enough,
waza.
aren't they? The
They're
attacks.
They're built like tanks as well.
No, I mean the attacks from
the
Boshashvili
attacks. Boshashvili is
are
enough.
proper.
Yeah, they're good, strong attacks. They're getting the Kazushi, and they're finishing it through, but it just doesn't get the end result,
Oh,
the
dear.
kaki. But there it's 2 apiece now. 2 shidos, one more from either one of these athletes would throw away the medal and a place to stand on that podium.
Really amateurish penalty given up there by Tanasidis with a minute to go, just ducking underneath. Yeah, he really has no fear of giving up that position on his
none
back.
whatsoever. But you would think that he would try and maybe change the tactics slightly, because once you see one Sumigeshi, you've seen them all, haven't you? And that
Well,
one obviously isn't working for him.
The problem is that it's not really the kind of technique that leads to a combination, because you're on your back. So the only thing that you can do is to try and draw your opponent into nearwaza, maybe a Jujigatami. But I think that they've seen enough of that, and it's likely that Boshashvili will pick up a penalty for a false
Yeah,
attack.
because I think that was a false attack. It was getting tedious then.
Yeah.
We'd seen it so many times, and the more we saw it, the worse it looked. But
No, he's gifted it to
he's just,
Tanasidis.
yeah, it's just giving him that. A hand sokimaki.
Because they realize that the idea behind those attacks was not to throw Tanasidis, which we'd seen and he couldn't do. It was to engage him in nearwaza, where he felt he had a chance.
Yeah.
So actually you could read that one. You know, Tanasidis didn't want to get involved in nearwaza. Boshashvili knew that. He couldn't throw him, you know, with any other techniques, but he felt that he could catch him with the Sutemi Waza. Okay, he had a few bashes at the Sutemi Waza. It wasn't working. So the only other thing that he had in there was the nearwaza. How to engage him in nearwaza? Well, just throw in an attack
Yeah.
in Sutemi Waza and hopefully get him engaged that way. They saw that one come in.
I think if he just changed it up
Yeah.
a little bit, but the fact that he was doing exactly the same technique and entering in exactly the same way.
We come now to the final of the under 81 kilo category. Dida Hamza of Kazakhstan faces Niamsurin Dagvasurin of Mongolia. It'll be Hamza in the white judogi, Niamsurin in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Ramzadin Saidov of Uzbekistan. Another Uzbek in the final.
Another one. But in the wrong positioning.
Yeah. Well, he's been in a few finals in his time.
Definitely.
Mercifully, I was never anywhere near them. Ryshard Sobirov on the right-hand side of your screen there, looking slightly gangsterish in a black jacket, black shirt and a white tie. You know, could have come out of Goodfellas or something. I'm assuming that the home crowd will be, you know, rooting for Hamza.
Hamza, yeah, I was thinking
You
the
know,
possibility.
their neighbour.
I think he did. He got a little bit. I didn't know if it was just the home crowd or it was somebody that was brought across from Kazakhstan, but he got a lot of support
Yeah, a few cheers,
in the earlier
yeah.
rounds.
Maybe there are a few. You can just jump on the train, can't you, and come here.
That's true. Namsuran was silver medalist here in this tournament last year, and he'll obviously. He's evened up that performance by being in the final, but he'll be wanting to go one further. Not starting in the right direction as he's picked up the first Shido. He also last year got a bronze medal in the Tokyo Grand Slam. Strong athlete from Mongolia. Kamza controlling, drawing that arm out, just playing a little bit of a waiting game here, trying to get a reaction from the Mongolian, who's looking a little bit tied up at the moment. He's got the arm under the armpit there, the hand tied very tightly there, drawing in that arm, controlling quite now. There's a Sasai, dropping his opponent down onto his face. You could actually hear the impact on the front there as Namsuren went down into the ground. Namsuren trying to get a reaction, as sort of a false movement just to open up his opponent, possibly exposing an opportunity of space to enter in onto an attack. Comes through what looked deep into a forward attack.
Right in front of that bank of photographers that they've got there. That must have given them a nice shot.
Yeah.
With the two fighters coming in their direction. Minute 20 odd left to go. Single Shido against Namsa in the final of the under 81 kilo category. Last contest of the day. Uzbeks already having won
Oh, right. Well, that's
the gold. Namsurin coming up with a rather soft score there. Hamza trying to defend it, but by the time that he realized what was happening, it was too late. He was already on his way down.
Yeah, with the Koichigak there nicely. It was a little bit of a false move, showing for what looked to be going for the Sianagi, and then switched back for the Koichigak.
Oddly enough, it's Namsuren who looks the more defensive of the two now.
Yeah, well, he's into the last minute now, and we're coming up to your golden second. Namsuren showing a few Sianagi moves there. Kamsa trying desperately to get past the defenses of his opponent.
No.
He's not doing very well there. Namsuren just playing a very tactical game here. Will pick up a Shido. Now that's the last he can pick up. He doesn't want to throw this away. He's worked too hard for this now. But any false attack, it's got to stay strong.
I think that was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
he just lost his
Yeah.
grip, but the entry was spot on.
Yeah.
Hips were in nicely.
He couldn't keep him out.
Koshiguruma there,
Yeah.
beautifully executed, and with 3 seconds to go, comes back in line. Well, this is really upsetting. You can see Namsuren absolutely furious with himself on that one.
How on
And so
earth did
he
I let
should.
that happen?
So he should be. Let that one disappear now. 3 seconds, we're going into golden score, but Namsuren has given away 2 vital shidos. So going in with 2 shidos down, not an ideal situation for him. Well, again, both engaging with very strong gripping skills. Namsuren takes control of that right sleeve, draws it across his opponent.
Didar Hamza is playing the absolute right tactic here. Killing everything, making it really hard. He knows he's got that little bit more power than Namsuren. The other thing is he's willing to run the risk of closing it down, shutting up, making sure that neither fighter can come up with anything.
So it's a shido apiece.
And a shido apiece, he wins.
Yeah. Well, the hand on the hip there, he comes under, drops under.
He can afford to take 2 penalties, Hamza.
Yeah.
Namsuren can't afford a mistake here. Hamza can do a bit of a spoiler.
Yeah, and he's capable of doing that. He's a very clever fighter.
Hamza does pick up a penalty with 1:40 gone in golden score.
They're battling away here, and it's just created so much excitement here in this arena. There's athletes there that were looking to be going home, but they're on the edge of the seat, and some are standing in the aisles wanting to see the outcome of this match. That is being, we thought it was all over and done with 3 seconds to go. Hamza comes back, equalising it with a Wazari. On, will he just take the lead and take the goal?
2 minutes of golden score. Namsuren, I'm surprised that he's still on his feet.
I'm surprised as well. He looked like he was dead on his feet just before the 4 minutes were up.
That's right.
It broke his little heart when that score came out.
And he's now had to do another half of a contest and more.
Oh, the head's going from side to side. Hamza is at him. He's
Good,
blocking the
strong
Sianak.
attack.
He comes through. And he tries to go over the back. Oh, yes.
Yes.
That's it. Ippon.
He's going to tap out Namsuren. He won't want to
Namsuren's not
hang
going
around there.
He's crossed his legs.
Yeah.
He's actually lying there having a break. Hamza takes the gold medal for Kazakhstan. What a turnaround.
That was another good battle, wasn't it, really? I mean, right to the wire, 3 seconds left to go. Namsuren's leading by Wazari, and he gets caught. He just didn't have the power to keep him off. And then it took another 2 minutes and 27 seconds for Hamza to come up with the winning
But I'm
score.
glad it went on a throw. I'm glad there was
Yeah,
a
and
score
not
in
a
it and
Shido.
not a
It was
Shido.
good, yeah.
That's the nicest outcome we could have wanted for a finale.
Good battle. Well, we've got 2 awarding ceremonies to come, as well as a highlights package. So there's still a little bit of judo to come. Dida Hamza, the gold medal winner in the under 81 kilo category. We'll have a look at some of the highlights from this one, and then we'll be back with the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 70 kilo category.
Ushbu uchrashuvni qiziqarli daqiqalarni monitorda kuzatishingiz mumkin.
We come now to the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 70 kilo category.
Xonimlar va janoblar, 70 kilogrammgacha bo'lgan vazn toifasida ayollarni taqdirlash marosimi.
The medals will be presented by First Deputy Minister of Physical Culture and Sports of the Republic of Uzbekistan.
G'olibalarni O'zbekiston Jismoniy tarbiya va sport birinchi vazir o'rinbosari Oybek Qasimov taqdirlaydilar.
Bronze medalists from Venezuela.
The first of the bronze medals goes to Elvismar Rodriguez of Venezuela. There's also a bronze medal for Gershak Sabina of Hungary. The silver medal goes to Giovanna Scocimaro of Germany. The gold medal goes to Michaela Polares of Austria.
Prize money and flowers will be presented by member of the International Judo Federation Education Commission and President of the Judo Federation of Venezuela, Mrs. Katiushka Santaella.
And now the national anthem of Austria.
fotosuratga tushish marosimi.
Right, here is the photo opportunity then with the winning quartet. Rodriguez and Gershak were the bronze medalists. Scocchimaro took the silver, but it was Polares who walked away with the gold medal. We've got some highlights coming up for you now, and then after that we'll have the last of the awarding ceremonies for the men in the 81 kilo category. We'll be back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can see the highlights of the final block on screen.
Xonimlar va janoblar, so'nggi juftlikni eng qiziqarli daqiqalarni monitorda kuzatishingiz mumkin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for the last awarding ceremony of today.
Xonimlar va janoblar, 81 kilogramgacha bo'lgan vazn toifasida erkaklarni taqdirlash marosimini kutmoqdamiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow will be the third and the final day of Tashkent Grand-Prix 2018 Uzbekistan. The categories for tomorrow: for women under 78 kilos and over 78 kilos; for men under 90 kilos, under 100 kilos and over 100 kilos.
Hurmatli xonimlar va janoblar, Judo bo'yicha Toshkent Grand-Prix 2018 musobaqasining 3-kunida erkaklar 90 kilogramgacha, 100 kilogramgacha bo'lgan vazn toifasida va 100 kilogramdan ortiq bo'lgan vazn toifasida kurashishadi. Ayollar 78 kilogramgacha va 78 kilogramdan ortiq bo'lgan vazn toifalarida kurash olib borishadi. Ertangi kunda, Xudo xolasa, Toshkent Grand-Prix 2018 musobaqasi ro'parasi 11 da boshlanadi.
We come now to the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 81 kilo category.
Under 81 kilos.
The athletes are just making their way to the podium now. There they are.
The medals will be presented by member of the International Judo Federation Education Commission, Olympic silver medalist and General Secretary of the Kazakhstan Judo Federation, Dr. Askat Zhitkeyev.
Ashkat Zhitkeyev, the Olympic silver medalist, is making the presentations, and the first of the medals goes to Alexios Thanasidis of Greece. There's a bronze medal too for Vladimir Soloyev of Kyrgyzstan. Silver medal goes to Nyamsurin Dagvasurin of Mongolia. But the gold medal goes to Didar Hamza of Kazakhstan, and it's a popular winner too. A large number of Kazakh fans in the venue to celebrate that gold medal win. And now the national anthem of Kazakhstan.
Thank you. Family picture with VIPs and judoka.
There's the photo opportunity for the athletes with the VIPs. The bronze medals went to Soloyev and Tanasides. Nyamsurin took the silver, but it was Didar Hamza who closes out day 2 of competition here in Tashkent with the gold medal. And the Mongolians lead the medal table with 2 golds and a silver. Kosovo tie actually with 2 gold and a silver, and there's a gold medal apiece for Germany, Uzbekistan, Slovenia, Austria and Kazakhstan. Join us again tomorrow for the 3rd and final day of competition here in Tashkent. But from Loretta Kusat-Doyle and myself,
Goodbye from me.
bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 2nd day of Tashkent Grand Prix 2018. We would like to see you again on the 3rd day.